Hey everybody again, this is Matador from freetradingvideos.com. It's 9:26 p.m. on Wednesday, January 14th, 2009. Wanted to take apart another one of these trades from one of our members. Salsaprince tonight did a really nice trade here on a S&P 500 tracking index, the CFD index tracker actually, so-called anyway. Hello everybody, this is Matador from freetradingvideos.com. It is 9:27 p.m. on January 14th, 2009, and I wanted to take apart another trade from one of our users in the room today. His name is Salsaprince, and he made a really nice trade on an S&P 500 index tracking stock. So I'll show you where he entered, show you where he exited that trade, and some of the reasons possibly, and I'll throw my 2 cents into the hat, and hopefully it'll be worth something. So here is the S&P 500 index itself, just to use that as the tracker. So this stock, you know that on the 12th we had an interesting day with regards to the sell-off. So this is where the stock had closed that night before, the index anyway, down 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 bars. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars in a row straight down. It's not surprising that we might get a bounce here, because all the people who are positioned well, remember that, who are now making money, get fairly motivated to catch some profits. So they buy to cover. Not a lot of people sell short into that because they know that people are about to buy to cover to come in. Drives the stock back up a little bit at times from the lack of sellers and new buyers wanting to come in. So here is that little bounce. And actually, this stock was shorted right in there. Okay, so we'll talk about that. That to me is a little bit dangerous of a short, simply because, like I said, it's been down so many bars in a row. I've seen things do this, chop around for 2 bars, 3 bars, and then head south and not let me in. All right, so I personally would have missed out on that entry. I'd rather wait for longer consolidation and have some of this moving averages come down. Just wait for it to pause a little bit. Go back in time and find out why it might be stalling here, which we'll do in a minute. In fact, I'll drop a line in there at 882. And I actually typed out the numbers. So here's that little bounce again. All right, not at all hindsight. Then we do get a very nice rollover very quickly, and the stock falls out of bed. So again, for me, it would still be questionable whether I would have taken this trade short, just because it hadn't spent long enough down here to give me any comfort that it would keep on going. But I'll show you what happened with the trend on that day if I haven't already, and that might have helped me make an entry into this stock. So this stock was shorted at about 950 at, let me drag this up, at 882, right where I dropped that line. He's short, he comes back up. He has seen a lot of his trade revenue, at least paper-wise, dry up. Doesn't feel too good. All right, but again, if you're in it for a different reason, then you can sort of hold these things. There's no reason to get out of that trade yet. You're just playing a little bit of a game of guts here. I'm sure he had a protective stop in somewhere, and so that helps also, and the trade really produces nicely. In fact, you'll see coming up here, this is one of the best lines of the day. All right, so support, 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 support. Ping pong balls off the table, breaks. Watch what happens to that line in the future. He holds it. Fantastic. In fact, he sees it bounce off this resistance and the declining 50 MA. Even though it's only a 3-minute chart, there are people watching that. All right back to support area, which I would drop a line in here. All right, another good area of support. Bounced off the 50 MA again. Now we get a lower swing high. Support again, right? Support, support, support. Resistance, resistance, and it breaks. What's kind of cool about this break is he saw that happen, and he actually entered it again right there. Short add-on trade. I'll grab this little line at 205. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4 bars down. Just again a little bit late for an entry if you're going to take that breakdown of that support. But again, that's the only thing I can find questionable, was you might have been able to catch a few more cents in here on a more defined entry, but it really produces nicely, and that was at 871.50. Head south, didn't want to hold it overnight, so we ended up exiting this trade on a little bounce just prior to the close right in here. Very, very, very nice. And you'll see what happens toward the close. So that's the end of the day. He captured almost the entire range of that, which is, let me just shrink it up. Very impressive. Give up a little bit at the beginning, give up a little bit at the end, but captured the majority of that downtrend in one day. It doesn't get any better than that. Even with an add-on, that's fantastic. So I really can't find anything wrong with this at all. There's nothing to say about that. It's beautiful. So let's take a look at what was happening also then with the trend on the 12th. And I think you'll remember, just as you're getting more and more used to looking at this, so here's the trend on the 12th. In the morning, started off at 1.0 and stayed high all day long. I mentioned this on somebody else's trade a little bit ago. There's no reason to exit a short trade in here. You know, even if you were taking a little bit of heat on a run-up in price, the trend was still at above 2.0, meaning that twice as much volume was flowing into stocks on the down run than on the upward moves. So that's a huge amount of volume flowing into down stocks, and that actually pales in comparison to what happened today. I know that's not what we're talking about, but holy smokes, when you have to scrunch up all the price action of what happened the day before. Check this out. I'll go back. There's yesterday, right? And then to fit the next day's bar on it, it has to smash it down flat just to put it on the chart. That's when you're seeing something. And today, it never even dropped below 2.0. That is an unbelievable amount of volume flowing into stocks going down. Yet the price wasn't completely trashed either. So it really tells me something that's going on behind the scenes, and it'll be interesting to see if we can still get that higher swing low, even with all this bad news trying to be priced in. So anyway, then we get back to that trade. You can see that on S&P, right there, the trend was high all day long as the VIX was also running up, giving great confirmation that there's really no reason to freak out and buy to cover too quickly to take your profits. And that's what I think I'm most proud of him for, was just being that astute to stay in a trade. Ask anybody who trades for a living what's more important, how you get in or how you manage your trade once you're in it. They'll almost all say how you exit a trade. And I really love the way that the S&P has been acting technically. These support areas become resistance. Support areas become resistance. Very, very routinely. When they break, it tells me something. Right? Even if it tests an area and you see it shifting in an area, it becomes a new one. I'm actually pointing at the screen. I'll just go ahead and go forward. So here's a great line also. We drew this in on the S&P. Huge triangle in here. Finally breaks that. Right? And so right back to the support area, it smashes through that support. And so those things are all meaningful to me. And even today, I'll just go ahead and go through it. Huge sell-off, right? Big area of resistance in here all throughout the day. Higher swing lows, higher swing highs, but it's still basing on its low. And I'd mentioned, I'll just bring up the S&P since it will most closely match that. You'll have support at the lows, and the next stopping place for all of this is the low base I was talking about just now at the end of today. We smashed through this support. Look what happened after that. Support breaks. All right. The next line is actually down here again. So 82 bucks, 820 for the futures, and support. So again, looking for a higher swing low, but knowing for a fact that we're probably going to have a lower swing high before we make it. Pretty good stuff. So great job, Salsaprince. Keep those trades coming. I have a few more trades now to analyze. And this is pretty fun. It's a good little series to go through, and I'll keep doing it, like I said, for as long as you guys want it. So talk to you guys later. Have a great evening and a great day tomorrow, and I'll talk to you at noon.